Good morning. It's Monday, July 31st, and that means two things. Sometimes I think there are just too many Mondays, don't you? And it's time for the lighting industry news brief, and we're brought to you by KeystoneTech.com. We're talking about their XFit Trad Slim Wall Pack LED fixture. It's the same footprint as an LED, so you don't have to bring in any paint or try to re-stucco anything. Great like that, but it's slightly slimmer, so you don't have to worry about bashing your head against it so much. Speaking of bashing your head, it does also offer 17,000 lumens and an easy maintenance with the driver right on the side, so you won't bash your head against the wall trying to fix it. Anyway, that link is in the description. Let's get into the news. The DOE is set to begin fining anyone in violation of selling, importing, or making incandescent bulbs on U.S. soil to the tune as much as $542 fines per lamp. Per lamp. $542 per lamp. That's what we're looking at. So check your shelves. Rhode Island is banning mercury lamps. This is a new rule. The first of next year ends CFLs, and then the first of the year after that will end linear fluorescence. Keep that in mind. Signify has started a Li-Fi format war. Their brand of pure Li-Fi lamps will not run on the recent IEEE standard. They'll use a different group's standard. Betamax was better. Nemo buys a majority share in Reggiani Illuminazione, which is an Italian lighting brand. The original owners will stay on as managers, but this is part of a bigger plan to build a €60 million manufacturing hub in Italy. Alumni Capital is backing the U.S. Lighting Group with a $100 million common stock buy. Motherson has bought a polymer maker called Dr. Schneider. This is a German lighting panel maker, and they sold for €118 million. The UPS and the Teamsters Union have averted a strike. Packages will move as normal. The IRS will no longer send agents to your business without scheduling an appointment first. This is in part to avert a recurring scam where people would pose as IRS agents, and partly because people shoot at IRS agents a lot. Not like pizza delivery a lot, but a lot. The Semiconductor Industry Association has called for a relaxation on some elements of the U.S. Chips and Science Act to keep, free-flowing trade of rare earth materials, which could become sanctioned as of the 2nd. However, 3 more gallium nitride device makers say they're fine. So Wolfseed said they were fine last week. This week, Transform, Navitas, and GaN Systems Inc. are all say they are ready to source their gallium and germanium from other places. The EU has adopted a new battery waste law, which is a big omnibus of bill that'll come into effect in 2 years, with new requirements for parts recovery, replaceability, chemical composition, performance rules. It's a big deal. Keep an eye on that if you deal in the EU. We have new construction for manufacturing has doubled since 2021. Lighting and controls demand are following right along in those. Signify has posted their Q2 sales. Sales up 5%. Net profitability sits at 9%. Sales at Figurehead are up, but profits are down. AMS Osram's Q2 went fine with a margin at 6%. Grainger reports on Q2 with their sales up 9%. Lumens has started a new education program. The Design on Demand series is pre-recorded webinars based on live webinars from earlier. You can get them for free. Lumotive has teamed up with Amuga to build LiDAR modules. Ain't that neat? The Silhouette Awards is seeking mentors for the 2nd year of their mentorship program. And the founders of WAC, Ty and Tony Wang, have been honored by the Self-Help group for their work at the Glow Foundation. Cajun Electric has a new store in Baton Rouge this fall. DSG is opening their 54th location in Mankato, Minnesota. City Electric has 2 new stores, one in Palm Beach and one in Englewood, Colorado. And Southwire has a new shop in Fort Worth, Texas. That'll open next year, though, and it'll be a 1.2 million square foot distribution facility.
In rep agency news, JR and Associates will expand into Kansas and western Missouri. Celix will rep for CAL lighting in Northern California and Northern Nevada. And we have 74 partnerships you can recap. Link at nailed.org, obviously. This is brought to you by Inside Lighting. In legal news, San Diego is paying out $4.8 million in a vehicle crash settlement. The case claimed that a lack of lighting in crosswalks near a high-traffic hospital led to an event that led to one fatality and one severe injury. The city of LA is being sued by a group that claims to be, that advertises itself as concerned with the health and safety of children. This group is chaired by RFK Jr. They would like to see documents related to LA's Smart City program and 5G connected street lighting. The merit and validity of this case is a matter for the courts, he said, remembering his contractual obligation to be dispassionate on a number of subjects. In events news, DSL Control Summit is open for registrations. You can get your tickets now. Universal Display has announced their conference tour, with execs going to K-Display, IMID, and the China OLED Industry Forum all this summer. And Moonlighting, an art show sponsored by the AIES, is now accepting submissions. So if you have any art or interesting photos, you can send that in until the 25th. In IoT news, Connected Solutions Group has partnered with, or they've created a new partner program with a new commission structure for 5G related sales. The SEC now requires disclosure of a cyber attack within 4 days if you're publicly traded. That's a new duty for you. Zaga forms a new task force for round-shaped LED modules. And Johnson Controls partners with Constellation. This is a deal for 2 new solar plants. Bosch, a building automator, has bought Paladin, a Canadian security integrator. We have a new study from the IES showing that connected streetlights reliably report faults, making a good case as a value add for maintenance. Ubic has bought MimoMax. Ubic is a Taiwanese power meter maker, and MimoMax is a New Zealand LTE company. In Grand Rapids, they've installed a new dim on-off brand smart street lighting system targeting energy use and increased safety. IoT farms, fully connected smart farms, do increase milk production. Fully managed farms reach 28 liters of milk per day. 28 more liters of milk per cow per day. Apartment dwellers are more likely to buy smart home devices than fully detached homeowners. In market predictions, we have a 4% gain in push-in wire connections, $11 billion for PoE lighting, 5% growth for lamps, $26 billion for smart poles, 4% expansion in navigation lighting, 25% growth for vertical farming tech, and more than $80 billion projected for smart offices. We have new satellite photos of detention centers in Tibet at night, and we can understand more about how the Communist Party of China runs their detention centers in the region based on that. Cows don't care about colored LEDs. Red light at sunrise and sunset, or blue light during the day, and I mean red and blue, they don't output the way other, fully connected options do. We just learned that. PNNL has been able to extract rare earths from the sea. You put some seawater in a tube, you put some algae in the tube, and the algae poots out little bits of rare earths. And isn't that something? In darkness-related news, we have found that a study of college students finds that regular consumption of melatonin-rich foods throughout the day improves your sleep, improves your mood. You should not self-medicate for insomnia. Consult a professional. That's a new finding. Circadian rhythms are connected to the gene expression in goldfish livers. We have history and lifestyle changes how circadian disruption affects people when they spend the summer in the Arctic. Isn't that something? Red light at night before bed can help you sleep. We have work on night restoration is continuing in Boulder City, Nevada. They are working very hard for a dark sky community status and really just doing a great job of amending their bylaws and practices throughout the area.
Hill County, Texas has released an infrastructure plan that does include darkness restoration programs. Marathon, Florida has updated their sea turtle bylaws. A LDS spokesperson in Cody, Wyoming still hopes for compromise on the location, height, and lighting of a proposed temple, even as they're suing the city, I should say. You can also still vote in Dark Sky International's annual photo contest. I think it closes today, though, so get on that. And in horticultural news, Sag King First Nation in Manitoba is building a solar greenhouse, a 10-kilowatt solar farm. It's on the same campus as their high school. In recommended reading, all this on nailed.org, we have Do So-Called Bug Bulbs Work? Complaints about a question of whether or not complaints about hybrid work are also complaints about accessibility and accommodation in the office. How does sundown syndrome work? What can we learn about energy resilience from Arctic research stations? Why is that light buzzing? A recap of lightivation. How to avoid UV rays. What you can do to embrace biophilic design. How you can improve your IoT security. How to think bigger about energy storage. Better patient care through LEDs. Why don't we just fix light pollution? A case study of natural lighting in a rare books reading room. AI in controls. Is it worth it? We can look at smart city projects a few years after, looking at a couple of different ones. And we have the rise of DC microgrids. In local news, Marin County, California Clean Energy spent $2 million in rebates this year. Austin Energy is offering new rebates to small businesses and nonprofits. Connecticut highways are suffering from the purple streetlight syndrome. Yes, that's right. The failed phosphors of Acuity brands have once again struck. Ibar City, Florida is auctioning off some historic lighting from their downtown district. Cambridge, Minnesota has picked new highway lighting. Maryland is approving new grants. Indianapolis is relamping for pedestrian safety. Tulsa, Oklahoma has upgraded courthouse lighting ahead of offering night court services. I didn't know the reboot of Night Court had moved it to Tulsa. Weird choice. Shelby County, Tennessee has flickering street lights. St. Laurent, Quebec is testing solar street lighting. OQ Chem in Texas is switching to LED. It's a big project. And Augusta U is adding new lighting to their sports fields. In international news, very similar to what's going on locally, Waregem, Belgium is switching to LED, so is Graefling, Germany. Kenya Power and Lighting is behind on their bills. We have Sign Express in the UK making a new net zero commitment. France is celebrating 200 years of the anniversary of Fresnel lens lighting. And Mexico is making lighting for work from home employees an employer responsibility. Mexico, if you're employing people in Mexico, you have to buy their lighting or ensure they already have it. There you go. In People News, we have 14 new hires in the sales department at Elemental LED. Priya Al-Melkar has been picked as the Senior VP of IT and CIO at Wolfspeed. Sandra Brooks has been promoted to an associate at LDI. And PTC's CEO is stepping down. He's still on the board, though. And things you can do. More of a thought experiment, but how to stop a laser-propelled starship after the laser fails. How to photograph the diesel effect of a bullet striking ballistic gel. And build your own Doberreiner lamp. We have a fact check on Lewis Latimer. He was not himself enslaved, his parents were. Just a reminder on that. He was a poet and an inventor. And you can watch something that I think is funny, which is just video of bees being kept indoors, and when you turn all the lights off, they fall down. They just immediately go to sleep. It's hilarious, and then I envy the bees for the ability to fall asleep that fast. Anyway, I've been Scott Walker. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our sponsors. Enjoy your week, and enjoy the music. Have a good one.